Hey everyone, Ranger William here from the Overmountain Victory National Historic Trail, being joined by three other rangers from the Soka Parks. We've got Ranger Leah from Kings Mountain National Military Park, Ranger Roland from Cowpens National Battlefield, and Ranger Adrian from 96 National Historic Site. This video is continuing our 4th of July, our Independence Day celebrations. And for this one, we are discussing different topics related to independence and the 4th of July. For this video, we're answering the question of when did the war change? When did it become about independence rather than just about rebellion? So who wants to tackle that one first?
I'll kick it off there first.
Go right ahead.
I'm going to say it became about independence in 1776, back when they signed the Declaration. Because before that, like when the British marched on Lexington and conquered, it was all about a rebellion, not wanting to have a foreign power tell us what we can and cannot do. So I think that's where it changed.
More about having the representation if you're going to have taxes, basically, and not independence. Yeah, I would agree with that. I do think it probably depends on who you're talking to.
When I was doing some research on the process before the Declaration of Independence was put together, and it was interesting. There were a couple points where John Adams in early 1776 saw certain moments as, well, this is basically us declaring independence already. In, I think it was February of 1776, the British Parliament passed the Prohibitory Act, which basically declared all American vessels enemy vessels and established a blockade of American ports. And he said, we don't even have to declare independence now. They've done it for us. He called it an act of independency. So all that was left was actually pushing Congress enough to get them to say it.
Yeah, I'm reading this really great book right now, and he's making a similar argument where we always think of it's the founding fathers, it's the Congress that's like making these advancements, and the people are with them. And he's saying, no, it's the people who are pushing and changing the situation. And the Congress is just trying to respond to what the people are already doing, to what they already want. So what the Congress did was a formalization of, by then, accepted public opinion. Because again, the delegates had to get permission or had to get approval from their assemblies to make that vote. So I think you have the formalization with the Declaration, but I would say you're looking, I'm trying to remember the exact date. I would say it shifted gears fall of 75.
Yeah.
When you saw, I'm trying to remember when the Olive Branch petition was. Is that September? Sometime around then. Because I remember hearing that it's the news of Bunker Hill arrives to King George before the Olive Branch petition arrived. And he doesn't even bother looking at the proposal for peace. So when you see the British government not even have open communication, when he kind of cuts that tie with his subjects, I think that's when you had kind of a public opinion change of, well, if he's not going to view us like his subjects, then we're not going to view him like our monarch. So I think that's when you had that kind of switch flip in at least the public opinion.
Yeah, what was it? The Declaration of Rebellion, that the colonies are in open rebellion. And yeah, that was the fall of 75, I believe.
Yeah, October maybe?
All the governors get kicked out and yeah.
Well, and then with Thomas Paine's Common Sense in January 17, or I think it was early 1776 and it was the first really thought out logical argument for independence that's presented to the public, and the public eat it up.
Something that I found was cool about Common Sense, and just about how not only is it so popular, but the reason is because this was the first time that it was just appealing through public, popular appeal. That it wasn't trying to tie back to these philosophers and English Civil War stuff. It was just saying, look, guys, this is the situation, A, B, C, it makes sense. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, I guess it does. And then now you got a bandwagon. So, yeah, I would say earlier than the Declaration, for sure.
Yeah, now that you're pointing all that out, I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, I guess I feel like when you start kicking out the established government and forming the provincial congresses, that's pretty upfront. Hey, we're not buddies anymore. We're not friends anymore. We're not listening to you. You don't tell us what to do.
But the Declaration does show the language that's used is legal language that would have been internationally recognized, that it's basically saying we belong on the world stage, that this isn't just a civil war between Britain and one of her subject colonies. This is, we are an independent political actor now. And so I think you've got a legitimate argument to Roland that it is the Declaration of Independence is a moment there too.
One more point that could even be thrown out. It's the moment where George Washington is named a commander of the army. Because until that point, the colonists are nothing but just, because the colonists are nothing but rebelling colonists who are trying to fight the will of their king. But the moment that Washington is named commander, it is now about an army formed to kick the British out of the colonies. So that could also be a change of point too.
Well, I think you got some really interesting points there. So again, for those who haven't seen what this series is all about, watch for our other videos talking about different aspects of independence, the 4th of July, the Declaration, everything kind of relevant to our celebration of our freedom. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you guys for sharing your points.
Thanks.